Hello, welcome back. I'm a little slow on that because I was checking to see if it was recording, which it is. My freaking mouse is in the way, or not my mouse, my mic is in the way, so let's move that. Anyway, welcome back to Final Fantasy XII. A bunch of people in the comments wanted Ulan, so I have made a Bosch on Ulan, and I have spent some LP, not all of it, but, you know, some of it. But Bosch is in Ulan now. I believe that leaves one person left that we have to pick a job for, I think. Right? Yeah. I'm playing two saves at the same time, so I'm confusing myself occasionally. And just like every other playthrough of an RPG or any game I play, you can safely ignore the game played time because I leave it running a lot. I also did a little thing, which in this version is very simple to do because it's available basically immediately. I did a little thing to get myself a diamond armlet. Now, in this version, in the original version of the game, let's start with that, shall we? In the original version of the game, you had to have this equipped to somebody in your active party in order for it to work. In this version of the game, it must be equipped to the leader of the party, or if you are in town, to Vaughn. I think it works in town for either of those, but specifically it'll work if it's equipped on Vaughn in town, you know, just because he's running around, that's how it works. It needs to be equipped to the person opening the chest, more or less, basically is how that works. But, essentially what it does is it gives you better loot, or a chance at better loot from, also makes you immune to lightning for reasons I don't understand, but from treasure chests and stuff like that. So the way you get that in the original version of the game is you would have to wait till, I think, Fawn Coast, or you could get it from a really rare drop from a chest in somewhere. I don't remember where. I don't think it's particularly early in the game either way. In this version of the game, you still have those options available, and it is cheaper if you happen to go to Fawn Coast to buy it. I believe it is 12,000 instead of 20,000. But in this version of the game, there's a trial mode available on the menu, which we will do. It'll be its own separate little playlist with videos and stuff much later on. Probably much later on. I might do it in chunks, like at certain points in the story I might go through some of the trial mode. But the first floor in trial mode is the rats that you see Vaughn fighting at the beginning of the game. They're very easy to kill. For some reason they give 2 LP each, so it's a good way to farm LP if you want. But in trial mode, every encounter has 2 treasure chests somewhere on the map. And that map is very small because it's just that little tiny room with the rats in it. One of those chests will always contain an armlet, and the other one will always contain a potion. I think it's always the same side, but I'm not sure. So you can load up trial mode, do that, and because this version of the game auto-saves, you can basically, when you die, you can go back to the main menu, click load your autosave from trial mode, and it'll put you back in the normal game with the stuff that you picked up from trial mode. So that's basically what you can do there. I believe normally what you have to do is get to a certain fight in trial mode, beat that fight, and then it will allow you to save, and then you can load that save back up in the main game and get the items that you picked up. But because it autosaves, you can sort of abuse it. They sell for 6,000, so it's a good way to get gil. I will probably be abusing that because, frankly, for the purposes of recording, I don't really like grinding too much for gil, but we will be doing level grinding a little bit. But anyway, this is like 4.5 minutes of me rambling. Let's go ahead and get on with this story, shall we? So Bujurba is a city on the sky continent of Dostonis. And the mine we happen to be wanting to go to is the Lhusu mines, which are inside of Bujurba, or at least attached to Bujurba. And I'd like to point out, these are mines, like fairly expansive mines. I can't speak today. on a floating island. They're literally mining the floating rock that they live on. This seems a bit counterproductive to their ability to live, doesn't it? We can ask them about Bouger, but why not? Export of particularly fine magicite. Indeed. It's ruled by Marquis Ondor. So that's all he'll tell us. We'll learn more about Ondor and the politics that are going on with this little city-state fairly soon. Not too many details. Those are saved for much later in the game, but... And this is your traditional RPG warning that once we go there, we cannot easily come back to Rabanester for a while. So make sure you are prepared for this. Also, we get a lovely cutscene here, if I'm not mistaken. I really do like this cutscene. Yeah, there it is.
Whoa. This is the Strahd. She airship enough for you?
The Strahd. You really are a sky pirate.
Well, the headhunters seem to think so. What's a good word? Is she ready?
So is she armed? How fast is she? Could she take the Ifrit?
I suppose I could tell you, but... Wouldn't you rather see for yourself?
Yeah.
Fran, our course.
The shortest way is over Dorstonis.
How flies Boucherba?
Oh, she's free as can be, for now. The Empire took notice when they announced the princess's unfortunate suicide and your untimely execution.
If it becomes known that I'm alive, the Marquis will lose their favor.
I try to steer clear of such things. Right, it's time to fly. And no wagging tongues or you'll like to bite them off.
I'm coming. Penelope.
Our first sighting of an airship. A momentous occasion. Well, not our first sighting, but our first time being on an airship in this game. We will be on it a lot, so... As you suspect, it is a Final Fantasy game. You got places to be.
You've seen to her feeding, yes?
I have, my brother. She eats well.
See that she does. We need her alive. Balthier's bait must be fresh.
I keep trying to tell you. I barely even know who Balthier is.
My brother, a message come from Rabanester. The Strahd she set sail. She makes straight for the sky city of Boucherba. Barely know, was it? Yet Ala Tracy goes bounding off for you. Tell me, how could that be?
That's what I'd like to know. I just met him that one time and that's
Does
it.
that tongue never stop? What if we plucked it from your head? As for you, we need Balthier alive. His corpse fetches but half the bounty. A tender beaten, my specialty.
There's no fun for it if we can't tease out a scream or two.
Where are you?
Welcome to Bujerba.
Easy.
No good, he's not here. Keep searching. This way.
You're a dead man. Don't forget it. And no names.
Of course.
Remember, no names. All airships are grounded. Wow. Is this teleport crystal here? Which you cannot teleport out for reasons that are never actually explained beyond, hey, there's story stuff going on, so you can't leave. It just says strong mist, but like, this is not actually a strong mist. That's just generic, you can't teleport at the moment message that you get. Remember, no
The
names.
Lhusu mines are just up ahead. Though, I do hear there's not much left there these days.
You're on your way to the mines? Then please allow me to accompany you. I have an errand to attend to there.
What manner of errand?
What errand? I might ask the same of you.
Right. Come on then.
What?
Excellent.
Do me a favor and stay where I can keep my eye on you. Should be less trouble that way.
For us both.
So what's your name?
Oh, I'm Lamont.
Don't worry. I don't know what's in that mine, Lamont, but you're in good hands. Right, Bosch?
Vaughn is an idiot. In case you're not already acutely aware of it, you now are. Everyone in the city has a means of calling you words that I cannot understand most of the time, but for instance, we talked to, I think, this dude back here that I ran past. Bhadra. Bhadra, I believe, means something along the lines of either outsider or foreigner or something like that. Tis to see the architecture, indeed. Yeah. None of these people say anything terribly important. They also say Svatgam, Svagatam? I don't know. This is probably from some language, and I just am an idiot, so. You find it most helpful to purchase a map, indeed, because we do not have a map. There is no real need to purchase city maps, but city maps are generally cheap. I will also, purchase a map of the mines. The map of the mines is actually fairly useful, despite its immense cost. And I'll go ahead and show you the mines. We can't until we get to that part of the story, apparently, so never mind. That way is the way to, I think they tell you if you walk over here. Yeah. That is the way to the Marquis territory, otherwise known as his home. And the associated buildings required for government operation. Anyway, we can purchase some additional new gear here to help ourselves out. This goes for weapons as well. I only want one weapon though, assuming it's available here. I don't actually know if it's available. We're about to find out though. You can also purchase some new magic, which I'm not going to be doing quite yet, but it is an option. Yes, we can purchase a spear. So I will be buying this, and I will be equipping it to him because he's an Ulan and he needs a spear. That mace is actually pretty good too. All this is good. No, we're not going to buy that. It's good, but I don't believe we need it for now. We can do this part of the game, I'm pretty sure, with the starting equipment. In fact, you may be intended to have primarily starting equipment at this point in the game. Sorry, I've completely lost my ability to speak the English language, apparently. Anyway, this is how we get to the mines. The dude says it's a complicated route to get here, but literally every path except for the stores and the one to get to the mines are blocked off, so... It's fairly simple, as long as you have a brain that can look at colors.
The Lhusu mines, one of the richest veins in Ivalice.
Under Imperial Guard, no doubt.
Actually, no. With but few exceptions, the Imperial Army is not permitted within Bougerba. Well, shall we proceed?
Totally not suspicious, this fellow. He joins us as a guest. Can't see his equipment doesn't matter. What's important is his ability to cure us. So he knows Cura, which is an AoE cure. He also knows Cure, obviously. And he will throw potions at himself and nobody else, unfortunately, so... we can actually probably adjust this, but... I think it'll use our potions. Again, it's been too long since I've played this. I'm not going to adjust the guess gambits or anything. I'm just going to show them to you because curiosity killed the cat. And that's basically it. He's essentially a white mage because he has Cura, he has all the status removal abilities. He's much more capable than everybody else in our party at the white mage duty, as it were. I think there's another cutscene here, isn't there? Yeah. He's also fairly potent at killing things too, so he's really good to have around for this part.
You will forgive me for asking, but you are diverting the purest of the Magicite.
I can assure you it reaches Lord Vane most discreetly.
Ha! You wear your saddle well.
Be that as it may, I have no intention of being bridled, Your Honor.
Then you prefer the whip? Stubbornness will see not only you broken, Excellency, but Bougerba as well.
Halim Ondor IV, the Marquis of Bougerba. The Marquis served as mediator at the negotiations of Damascus' surrender. It would appear that he is somewhat less neutral now.
They say he's been helping the resistance.
They say many things.
You're certainly well informed. Who did you say you were again?
What difference does it make? We have to find Penelo.
And Penelo is your...
She's a friend. She was kidnapped and taken here.
I don't understand quite what's up with his response to the Vaughn's little kidnapping revelation there, but regardless, let us make our way forward. You might notice one thing wrong with Lamont is he does have basically no health. But it's not really an issue. Things here will die fast enough, and there is also a good early game grind location in this area as well. There is also, and this is something we should probably deal with relatively quickly. We have it, which we don't, so never mind. Libra is a great thing to have here. I don't have the item that allows me to have Libra though, and I don't have the technique because I don't like using Libra as a technique. I much prefer simply having the item over having the technique and having to recast it constantly, but in the late game, that is a thing we will be doing. We will simply be casting Libra rather than using items because there are far better accessories in the late game, obviously. Early game though, not necessarily so much. This place is primarily, I can show you the map now. This place is primarily full of bats and skeletons. There are a few exceptions to this. There's also a trap somewhere around here. A knot of rust. We're going to be getting a lot of knots of rust simply because of what I have equipped, which is the diamond armlet. I think it's called the diamond armlet. I always forget the name of this thing. Yeah, diamond armlet. Because it basically causes you to either get a rare item or a knot of rust. In almost every treasure chest, that's usually how the loot changes when you have this item equipped. Ah yes, let us open the map. So this is the mines, or at least what we can see of it for now. There is another half of the mines that's on this side over here that we cannot see quite yet, but it is over there. I think it's the Lhusu mines that are like that. Fairly sure it's the Lhusu mines that are like that. But regardless, our objective is to go to the square room over there. And this second bridge right here, the bridge on the right, the shorter one, that is a good grinding location, and I will explain how. That was a trap, by the way, as you can see in the combat log. I will explain why when we get there. It's going to be kind of annoying not having Liber in this place, because Liber allows you to see traps and thus avoid them. But there's not a huge amount of traps here, and they're not necessarily super deadly traps, so it's not going to be too big of an issue. In later areas, and one infamous area in particular, traps are very, very dangerous because they will do a lot of damage to you. The infamous place I'm talking about, and is something some people who've not even played the game have seen, is a save point in a fairly late game area, pretty close to the end of the game. There's a save point with a line of, I think, 4 or 5 explosion traps in a straight line from the corner that you go around to the save point. So if you go straight from the corner to the save point, you will hit every explosion trap and it will kill your entire party instantaneously. It's pretty good. Anyway, this, unfortunately they call it slow occasionally, this is why this bridge is good. It will spawn only skeletons, which means you can get a nice chain gauge going and thus get better loot and, you know, sell the loot for more gil, etc, etc. But it will only spawn these, and these enemies aren't terribly difficult as long as you don't spawn too many, and it spawns a lot of them on this one bridge. So what you do is you go across this bridge, slowly spawning skeletons as you go. And slowly whittling them down, of course. Now, at this point in the game, I like to try and get people up to level 12. It's not necessary at all, we got an honor up. But it does help tremendously in the upcoming parts of the game because it means you can go through a huge chunk of the story without any additional leveling whatsoever. Again, this is, you know, you could, if you really wanted to, you could do that thing where you fight the rare monster with Phoenix Downs and level Vaughn up really fast at the start of the game. We're gonna stand here once this guy dies. Here we go. Because Lamont will remove the poison. You could do that if you wanted to, and that'll save you grinding all the way up to 30 or 40 if you want to go that long, but I prefer the more fluid approach, so I'm going to tell you decent grinding spots as we go through the game, more or less. So this part is entirely optional. You don't need to go this way. You can simply go through that zone transition and then immediately turn back around and do something that I'm about to show you in a moment, but I did want to point out that you can go this way. There's a trap in this hallway, by the way. You can go this way, and there are some skeletons down this way that you can fight as well. For some additional killing time, as well as some treasure. I think that's the only one, yeah. Once again, there's a trap in that hallway. so now what you do, I hope that hose isn't going to turn on because that's going to cause me to have to stop recording momentarily. It sounds like it is, but it should be okay, hopefully. I'll have to keep an eye on the audio, but it should be alright. What you do is you go through that zone transition, turn around back on the bridge, fight the skeletons all the way back across. This is not a fresh spawn of skeletons, this is simply the skeletons that were left on the bridge. It spawns 2 or 3 rounds, or like 2.5 rounds of skeletons on this bridge. It's quite a lot of them. In fact, I'm going to turn the speed multiplier up. Because this is what we're going to do for a little bit here. We're going to open this chest too. A knot of rust, who would have guessed? The loot from these guys is relatively valuable, so it will allow you to get some new equipment pretty easily too, which is nice. Remember, try not to pull too many. Fear of death and all that stuff. There we go. So what you do now is you hit the fleeing button, because there are bats in this area. And if you hit the bats, it breaks your chain. Well, don't hit them. If you kill a bat, it breaks your chain. Go through this zone transition and then turn around. And what this will do is this will forcibly reset this bridge zone over here back to its starting state. And that you can do this in any zone in the game. If you go 2 zone transitions away, it will reset the zone that you were two zones in ago, if that makes any sense. So I haven't explained chains yet, I don't think, or maybe I have. It gives you, as your chain level increases, and it's RNG, partially RNG, and there's some weird math going on in the background, but it's RNG at how many chain kills your level will increase. But when it does, it makes a big fancy noise and it changes the chain counter down there into being a slightly fancier version as you level. And what this does is it causes the loot drops to change. So you'll get more of the basic loot, and then more of the basic loot again, and then a higher chance of rare. And then you'll start getting loot drops that heal you when you pick them up, such as these right here. They will also have a chance of giving you party buffs, or single target buffs in our case, because our loot level isn't high enough. And even higher quantities of rare drops, not just rare drop chance and stuff like that. So chain levels, very, very potent. Once you get chain level high enough, you can usually keep going forever, because the chain level being that high means the loot drops healing you is frequently enough to actually keep you alive through the encounters, so pretty good. And there's our chain level. I believe this is the final chain level, so there's one more. I can't necessarily remember, but this is the chain level wherein you can usually keep doing fights forever, because the loot drops will heal you a reasonable amount every time you pick something up, which is pretty good. Now, I'm going to go back through this bridge one more time, and I will see you guys. Ow, there's the trap that I forgot about. I'm going to go through this bridge one more time, and I will see you guys. We get Vaughn in the group instead of both of you. Yeah. And I'll see you guys on this side of the bridge so that we can continue this story. You guys won't miss anything. I'm just going to run around on the bridge for a little bit, so be right back. Alrighty. We're back. Went on a bit of a killing spree with some skeletons, as you'll probably notice momentarily when my chain pops up. I'm telling you, man, a lot of those things spawn on that bridge. And I do mean a lot of those things spawn on that bridge. I think it's something like maybe 40 skeletons per time across that bridge. It's actually pretty ridiculous. But anyway, let us continue our journey. Once we go into this room, we are, well, I mean, you can come back in the mines, but once we go into this room, we lose the Lamont, so there are some trade-offs to that. Here you can see the levels I got. I like to get everyone to level 13, but I got Fran and Bosch a bit higher because they're in the party at the moment, so. A knot of rust. Again, we're going to be getting a lot of knots of rust. We can take the thing off and we'll stop getting so many knots of rust, but the chance of rare items from the treasure chests weighs a lot more than the basic stuff those chests give anyway, even if we get knots of rust most of the time.
This is what I came here to see.
What's that?
It's nethicite, manufactured nethicite.
Nethicite?
Unlike regular magicite, nethicite absorbs magical energy. This is the fruit of research into the manufacture of nethicite. All at the hands of the Draclaw Laboratory. So this is where they're getting the magicite.
Errand all attended to, then?
Thank you. I'll repay you shortly.
No, you'll repay us now. We have too much on our hands to go on holding yours. So, where did you hear this fairy tale about nethicite? And where did you get that sample you carry? What do you know about the Draclaw Laboratories? Tell me, who are you?
Balthier.
You kept us waiting, Balthier! You slipped away in Nalbina. We missed you! First the judge and now this boy. The whole affair has a smell of money about it. I may have to wet my beak a little.
Keep your snout in the trough where it belongs. This thinking ill befits you, Begamnon.
Balthier. Too long have I gone unpaid. I'll carve my bounty out of that boy.
Where's Penelo? We're taking her back.
The girl? Why keep the bait when you've landed the fish? We cut her loose on the way here and then off she ran crying like a babe.
Hey!
After them!
Pretty good bounty hunters. Anyway, at this point...
Hey, wait up!
Wait up.
We'll not be able to take them all. Fight who we must, leave the rest.
You can fight them if you desire. Alternatively, you can hold the flee button, because they are... I believe they're all about level 20 or thereabouts. I can't remember exactly. They also cast, I think, Protect and Shell if you try and fight them. But the thing you can also do is simply hold the flee button and employ the push the left stick in the forward direction. You will, of course, aggro everything in its mother on the way, but because we are fleeing, as long as we don't have to go in around too many corners. By the way, there's a shortcut path to the treasure chest on the left. It's full of traps. Don't generally recommend taking that path, but it is an option, I suppose. We can just continue holding flee, and I think after this section of the map of following Lamont, please don't hit me. You hurt a lot when you hit me. They will, for some reason, lose us, and I don't quite understand how, considering they're literally right behind us, but, you know, they're not the smartest creatures, I guess.
It would not seem they follow. We've lost them.
Much more running about with Bunga at my heels, and I'm apt to give up sky pirating altogether.
I don't understand how they managed to lose us. By the way, rest in peace, Chain. There it goes, 134. There was talk a long time ago when the original came out about reverse chains, and I don't quite remember the talk about them, but it's something along the lines of the first enemy you kill when you break the chain also gets some sort of chain bonus or something. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember, it's been a while, so. This guy spawns here, by the way. I believe he is identical to the ones in the Giza Plains, but he only spawns there after you pass through this area the first time, so. I believe he will always spawn there now, though. There we go. Make our way back out of the mines, and we get everyone's favorite minigame from this game. Otherwise known as push square to shout lies. Which is my favorite pastime.
I see you've been out walking without the company of your cortege, Lord Larsa. We caught her wandering out of the mines. You must take care with such undesirables about.
I was kidnapped.
Silence.
If it is a crime to wander on one's own, then I too am guilty. Marquis, I trust that your estate can accommodate another guest.
Why not?
Judge Geese, I shall heed your counsel. I will not travel unaccompanied any longer.
That was unexpected.
Thank you, Penello.
Of course.
What's Penello doing? And what's the deal with that Lamont?
That's no Lamont. Larsa Ferinas Solidor, fourth son to Emperor Gramis and brother to Vane.
What? That kid?
Do not worry. I believe he will treat her well.
Nobody knows men like Fran does.
Our purposes lead the same way. To Ondor. We must find means to approach him.
The Marquis is channeling money to organizations opposing the Empire. We'll start there.
Marquis Ondor announced my execution 2 years ago. If news of my survival were to spread, the Marquis may find his position compromised.
The men he's been funding bear little love for the Empire. They won't be thrilled to discover that rumors of your death were, in fact, greatly exaggerated. If we were to raise a clamor to that effect, we might just get their attention.
Nothing to it. I'll just go around town spreading the word. How about this? I'm Captain Bosch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca. Well, what do you think?
That certainly qualifies as a clamor. All right, Vaughn, get to it. For the girls' sake, eh? Oh, and the more people around to witness your little performance, the better. If we're going to reach the Marquis, it's up to you. We'll be waiting here if you need us.
So, things to note here. Each regular citizen, and it does drop down over time if you're not doing anything, but each regular citizen is worth 1%. But something it doesn't tell you, and that is very important, is that each, I don't remember what they're called, but each person with a sword, these dudes, the Sainika? Not entirely sure. They reduce your notoriety, I'm pretty sure, but these dudes with the books increase it a lot. So what you want to do, and the range for your testified thing is very short for reasons that I don't understand, but what you want to do is get close to as many of these as you can, and then hit the button.
Von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca.
As you can see, they increase it by quite a lot. They also have unique text that pops up. But the important thing to remember is that you must not shout in front of the armed guards that have swords and such things. There are quite a lot of the dudes with books around. There should be, yeah, there's one here. We have to wait for this dude to get out of the way. There's always a patrolling dude nearby that will hear you if you happen to do it next to these dudes. But you have plenty of time, and there's a lot of these guys around. So you're really not strained at all. There should be one right here, yes.
I'm the Bosch von Ronsenberg.
When you do this, really don't even bother shouting at regular Bujerban citizens. Focus entirely on the dudes with books. That is how you do this. And again, as you can see thusly, the range is very low, so you don't even have to be very far away from that dude. Apparently, basically, Vaughn is just whispering secrets into people's ears when he does this.
Don't listen to Ondor's lies.
I think this will push us to just below what we need. Yeah. Captain Bosch. Whoa, camera. Von Rosenberg. My God.
I'm Captain Bosch.
As you can see, it's not terribly difficult as long as you focus on these guys, right? Rather than trying to get, you know, the random people stood over there, which aren't worth anything. Apparently not good at spreading rumors, are those?
This is the one, Amaro. Says he's Captain Bosch, he does.
He would sooner pass for the king.
I knew he weren't no captain. That was a mean trick to be playing.
If a trickery it ended, it would end well enough. But why this boy? And why Captain Ronsenberg? An explanation is due, and I will hear it. The Empire's hounds grow passing bold indeed.
A shame if they learnt the Marquis trafficked with the likes of you. Agents masquerading as guides, a hideout at the back of a tavern? Not exactly earning high marks for originality, are we?
Now you've done it.
Wait! So Bosch von Ronsenberg does yet live.
So Vaughn really is all right. I didn't think I'd ever get to see him again.
You will join him soon. And until then, I shall see that you are kept from harm.
Thank you.
I am troubled. The Rabanastre Imperial Guard appear to have overstepped their bounds. I intend to speak on this with the Consul.
What?
Vane Solidor, the Consul, is my brother. The first duty of the Consul is to maintain order in Dalmasca. My brother is not one given to failure. Perhaps things aren't going as well as they might be, but give him a little time and he will put things to rights. Be not troubled. My brother is a remarkable man.
He frightens me.
Why?
I'm sorry. He is your brother. It's just, you don't understand how much we lost to the war. My friends, my parents.
So you fear the Empire? Listen to me. The men of my family, we are taught to place the needs of others before those of our own. I will see that you are kept from harm. It is my duty to House Solidor.
But how? How can I trust you?
Because I give you my word. My brother would do no less.
I knew there must be more to it, but to find you at the end of this tale? To see the Marquis's face when he learns of it.
I should like nothing more. I would meet him and see for myself.
How say you, my lord?
There is little to be said. I shall arrange a meeting with the Marquis. We shall expect you at the estate.
Now then, video ran over a wee bit, but there's a series of cutscenes soon, as well as a series of events. But this video, for now, is done. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.